If you're married and you're going to be joining the United States Army, there's some tips I want to give you. I got a short video today that I want to help you out because you're probably here because you have some unanswered questions. You're married, you got some things on your mind, and you're about to join the United States Army. I got your back. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into some things though. The first thing is maybe you're wondering, when can I have my wife, my husband, my spouse come be with me? Typically on active duty, I would not expect to be able to have your spouse with you until after you have completed your initial training. You're done with basic training, you're done with AIT, then you can start the process to have your spouse come live with you. There may be some very rare circumstances if you have a really long AIT that maybe you can have your family come out sooner than that. But if you're in that situation, your recruiter should probably let you know, somebody should let you know. Otherwise, expect that you're not going to get to see your family, at least them moving with you, at least anyways, until after you've done that initial training. I mean, you probably be able to have a chance to see them maybe after you graduate basic training, maybe after you graduate AIT, you can have some time to get maybe a day or a few hours of some family time in during that time frame. But more specifically, if we're talking about actually coming to live with you, don't expect that to be available until you get to your very first duty assignment once you're done with all your initial training. Even when it comes to like having your spouse pack everything up and move and everything, that typically is not available until you actually have orders in hand. When you are probably getting ready to graduate AIT, you probably then will have your orders. So then you're going to be able to start the arrangements to have your spouse come move to wherever it is you're going to be assigned to once you have those orders. Without those orders, you can't actually start that process. If your spouse has a power of attorney, as soon as you get those orders, they can actually kind of start doing some things for you if you're not available to, because maybe you get your orders, but you still have another week or two of AIT or something like that. They can start doing some things on your behalf because they have a power of attorney. But if they do not have a power of attorney to be able to do things on your behalf, you may have to wait until you get to your first duty assignment, because you might have an opportunity to take about 10 days of leave when you get to your first duty assignment, but that's not guaranteed. But in some cases, depending on what's going on in your unit and what your leadership allows you to do, you may have a chance to take this short little 10-day leave to be able to get your family moved to your duty assignment. Otherwise, especially like if there's some crazy stuff going on, or you got crappy leadership, or just other scenarios, maybe not necessarily crappy leadership, but just other scenarios that don't allow you to take that 10-day leave right away type of thing, you may have to kind of do it without taking the leave. And your spouse may have to kind of start arranging things. You may have to do things over the phone and start kind of negotiating stuff to be able to get them out there to be able to be with you, because you can't take that 10-day leave. But if you are granted that opportunity to do so, you might be able to do a lot of it during that time frame. Now, you're going to get BAH, that housing allowance, day one of basic training, but you may be a little bit of a delay because you have to get that in processed. When you show up to basic training, during reception, you're going to start the in processing. They're going to need things like a certified copy of your marriage certificate. You need some information about your spouse, like their social security number and everything. And you can get them enrolled in the process, get them enrolled in DEERS, so they can start getting TRICARE, all sorts of other things during that initial processing. But sometimes there's delays, depending on like when it falls on the time frame. You may not get that BAH, you may not get that initial pay until maybe a month later. So make sure you have a little bit of a buffer in case that happens. If you show up to basic training and you don't have the right documentation or anything to be able to get BAH and everything, you will still get back paid for it, because later on, maybe you can prove it, maybe you get your first duty assignment, and then you're able to get a copy of the marriage license or other things you're missing or whatever, then you can go and get enrolled in the system and then get back paid for it. But also there's still circumstances of just, it takes a little bit to get you initially into the process or into the system. So expect some possible delays, but you will get back paid for that information or for that time period that you weren't getting paid BAH or your regular pay. Make sure you got a copy of your marriage certificate when you go off to basic training so you can get enrolled in the system. Make sure you got information like your spouse's social security number to be able to get them enrolled. Make sure you're in communication the best that you can with your spouse, and then they can go get an ID card from a nearby installation if they have that available. If they don't have that available, then they may have to wait until you actually get to your duty assignment and then get enrolled in the system. But if they have it available, they can get started on the process, like getting their ID card, get enrolled in the healthcare system. If they have an installation near them, that they can go take care of that stuff, and maybe have a power of attorney, or you've done all the paperwork to just have them ready, because once you do the paperwork, they should mail off some stuff to your spouse that they can use to go get their ID card from a local installation if they have one near them. Now, if you have some questions about this topic, just make sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. Hopefully some of my viewers that have been through this process, maybe you can help out some of your fellow future soldiers or whatever the case is. Let them know down in the comment section down below as far as what you wish you knew when you were coming into the Army and you were trying to get your spouse enrolled in this healthcare and ID card and BAH and all that other stuff, right? To make the process go a little bit better for the people that come after you. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'm Christopher Chaos, and I'll see you next time. See ya.